slow news day. I was going to go a different direction with this video. January 8th, early morning when I'm shooting this. So what's up everybody? How you doing? Hopefully y'all are doing well. Tucker turns on Trump. Fox host says president has reached his shelf life as he blames him for inciting the U.S. Capitol riot after he recklessly encouraged his supporters. Again, pushback on the riot, mostly peaceful protest. 97, 98% at least peaceful, 99 maybe. Beats the 93% number of BLM, as I alluded to yesterday, mostly peaceful protest. Fox News' Tucker Carlson on Thursday night's show accused Trump of having recklessly encouraged his supporters to storm the Capitol. Carlson, who is generally a Trump ally, said the president had reached his expiration date and the end of his shelf life. And I think this is what you see, you individuals out there that are more MAGA Trump supporters, individuals that are kind of separate from like the old school establishment GOP neocon types. Now that they're done with him, you saw the same thing with McConnell, Romney, individuals that now that they're done with him, now that they can see that it's over in terms of Biden getting into office, now they're willing to sweep him aside, act like he never existed, and then do what a lot of people say. They say that conservatives, and this more comes in the form of the individuals elected into office, that by and large they're weak and that they're cowards and that the Democrats are the evil individuals. So GOP, weak, the way they keep getting pushed further and further to the left. Democrats, evil. That's the terminology I've heard used to describe it. But that's getting back to this point here, is it just shows the level of cowardice. Individuals who were behind him for 4 years, but now that the boat's taken on a ton of water, instead of bailing, they're trying to find the nearest life raft to save their political careers. And it looks like Tucker may be going down that road as well. He questioned whether the president was worth all of this time and attention. He wasn't questioning that when they were doing their interviews together, when his ratings were at a record high, right? The Fox host also claimed it was not healthy for the nation to be focused on a single man, as he encouraged his viewers to give up on hope for Trump. And that's true, I would say, in terms of winning the election in 2020. Obviously, that ship has sailed. But I did see that Tucker dropped behind other individuals in his time slot. More and more, Trumper, MAGA types are going over to Newsmax, AON, perhaps there's some other conservative sources. I don't know if you'd call Trump conservative, but those types of individuals that would watch Tucker before, they're going elsewhere. So perhaps some of his rhetoric is because he's seeing his numbers on the decline. He did, however, defend Trump's base as he blasted the Republican Party for not caring about their voters. And that's true. We'll give him credit for that one. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just the headlines here. Freedoms are more important than any single politician, he said, as he accused the party of spending too long defending the personal reputations of its leaders. A Capitol police officer has become the fifth fatality of Wednesday's riots. I talked about that second to last point in a video I put up a few weeks ago, kind of right after the election, that I felt like the fight wasn't something that could be won. Just because the way the system's put into place, the machine and everything, being how it is, I felt like rather than, and I know a lot of you will disagree with it, but that's fine. I love disagreement. I don't take that stuff personally. We all think about things different. I felt like he should have been using this time, as the legal processes were going on, using the time out there having Trump rallies all over the country, setting himself up for 2024, because I saw the writing on the wall. I didn't feel like, in spite of what I'd seen, that it was going to be fruitful for the right. So I thought he should have used that time to be out there saying, hey, this is what I did. This is what I can do in 2024. Kind of just generating that buzz, reminding everybody how great things were before the China virus came along, and that could have gone a long way towards propelling him towards 2024. Those were my thoughts several weeks ago. Obviously, in hindsight, it looks like that would have been a better course of action, because I don't know that he comes back in 2024. But I will say this, something just crossed my mind. Independent run in 2024. If you can take that large swath of individuals who are MAGA, Trump supporters, pull that away from the establishment GOP and create a stronger independent party, then that may be something that I could see. I can't see him or them getting back into bed with each other, because of the way things have transpired and the way things have gone the last day or two, where individuals are coming out against him and people are resigning from his cabinet as well. I just can't see that marriage happening again. So independent run in 2024 maybe. But let me get into this real quick. Now, these are town hall articles. Those of you on the right know that these are conservative outlets. So I always like to stress that, keep that in mind when I show you what I'm about to show you. First off, as I always say, if I come across an article by Katie Pavlich. Hi, Katie. Hi. Utah man with a history of organizing violent Antifa BLM protests was inside the Capitol. This is our fine, upstanding gentleman here. I'm sure he was not up to no good. He was just kind of hanging around. We're beginning to learn more about the individuals who were inside the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday. And this is what I talked about yesterday was, with social media being what it is, all the video footage that everybody probably was shooting, that we would find out who was really involved in this, because there was some talk about some leftists being involved. A man named John Sullivan was there. He's from Utah and the founder of Insurgence USA, which is a group dedicated to radical justice and police reform. According to numerous news reports, he has a history of organizing leftist protests and identifies with Black Lives Matter. Over the summer, Sullivan was arrested after organizing a violent riot in Utah that ended with a shooting. One of the host groups was the Salt Lake Antifa coalition. At the U.S. Capitol, Sullivan was standing next to a Trump supporter, Ashley Babbitt, when she was shot and killed by a police officer. In fact, he filmed it. Interesting, right? That this Antifa guy was right there when it happened. KUTV, that's Utah, has confirmed a Utah man involved in violent protests in Utah this spring was in D.C. and stormed the Capitol amid violent protests. Jim Spiewak spoke with him. The story on 2 News at 10, his most often used hashtags: BLM, Antifa, burn, F the system, abolish the police, F Trump. John Sullivan faced charges here in Utah after organizing protests. His most recent video post on Insta. Now, according to him, being the good guy he was, the Utah man told 2 News he was just there to document the protests. He is seen in the video moments after a woman was shot and killed trying to break through a window in the U.S. Capitol. You can hear from him tonight at 10, so they're actually putting him on the news there in Utah at 10 o'clock. This woman, Heidi, also goes on to say no matter what, he watched a woman die and now could face charges. So that's one thing I got. Now check out this other one I've got here. This is also from Town Hall, so again, keep these things in mind when you're watching these. A lot of us have that kind of confirmation bias thing going on. I hope that people who watch don't just watch for that in terms of my channel, because I don't identify with either particular party. I'm an American, first and foremost. I don't identify by my gender, by my skin tone, by my race, religion, some other kind of identity politics that they like to play. I don't identify by a political party. I'm an American, period. And so whatever's best for America and Americans is what I'm always down with. Whomever can do that for all of us, myself included, then that's who I'm good with. So hopefully all of you individuals out there that were mature enough to not just seek out, right, confirmation bias, as they said. So that's why I always like to qualify things in terms of the sources I'm looking at. So check this out from Town Hall. Video shows Trump supporters attempting to stop people from breaking into the Capitol. And there's some video here that I'll show you on that. Stop listening to MSM lies. I was there in D.C. Antifa started to break windows, but stops by Trump supporters. Obviously, she's not delivering that right there. I'm sure she's trying to say, but is stopped by Trump supporters. But let's watch this video here. You hear them? They're yelling Antifa and booing. See? Well, let's go back to that. Oh, it's going to replay anyway, but look at the helmet the guy's wearing. I'd never seen a Trump supporter wear a helmet. She keeps yelling Antifa. They need to know it's not us. And then he stopped right there. Now, obviously, we saw individuals inside the Capitol. The woman who was shot was a MAGA supporter, so we know that. The narrative that's always portrayed by the media is one that's anti-right. Interestingly enough, this woman has her name as Emma Wright. I'm guessing that's not her real name. I'm guessing she's an individual on the right, or else she would have named herself Emma Left. But there's another video here. I haven't seen this one. Let's take a look at this one real quick. No Antifa. Boo-hoo-boo. That woman was not having it. She was vocal as heck about what she was thinking. Now, like I said, though, we do know that there were a lot of Trump supporters who did go into the Capitol building. Now, in terms of this, though, we've seen this many times. It was the infamous Umbrella Man video, right, if you recall, from a few months ago, where they said that he was smashing out windows and that he was actually a police officer there trying to start things. We have different groups that have been said to place bricks at a scene the night before a protest or something to kind of create that spark. When people see violence, it begets more violence, I guess. So once the doors were breached at the Capitol, totally different thing, of course, but once the doors were breached, perhaps some individuals who wouldn't have normally got in kind of sheeped their way in. As I said, not condoning what I saw, because we do know that there were Trump supporters inside the Capitol, but we also see that on the outside and on the inside that there were potential agitators. And that's what I talked about before, was we'll find out who these people are. So I just found these couple things interesting that, as I said, I was going to go a different direction with this video today and talk about the whole AOC Ted Cruz squabble. And I started doing a little bit more work, and then I saw this and I was like, let me cover this. It seems a little bit more intriguing to me. I'll talk about the Ted Cruz AOC stuff tomorrow. But thanks for watching, everybody. And as I always say, don't do that thing. Don't be them. I say that because I know mostly people who watch my stuff are more centrist types, more individuals kind of like center left, center right, and then more individuals on the right in terms of the various platforms. I'm just thinking based on the comments I get that most of you individuals kind of fall within that range. So don't be like that side. Don't be the left. Don't be the far left. Don't be one of these extremist morons who only seeks out confirmation bias. Don't seek that out from me. Don't seek that out from other people that you watch, because it can get you wrapped up. It can get you wrapped up, man. It can get you right here. It can get you so wound up mentally. And we see it with these politicians that we have in place. It can get you so wound up mentally to where it impacts your day-to-day life. And I'm not saying you don't fight for what you believe in, but I'm saying don't keep taking in this kind of crazy rhetoric. And as I mentioned before, after the election, I said, don't be those individuals that get BDS, Biden derangement syndrome. Fight the fight that you believe in, for sure, 100%. That's these lousy senators, these lousy congresspeople, these lousy governors. What you've got to realize is that for the most part, they're the same devil. But don't let them get you twisted to where you're getting jail time for their stupidity. That's all I would say. So hopefully you all are with me on that. But like I said, keep fighting for what you believe in. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ted Cruz and AOC tomorrow. Should be a fun one. Take care, everybody. Hopefully you all are doing well.